Hello, Mr. Romano. Welcome to Interactive Middle Earth. This is a program that I made that allows you to select multiple maps of Middle Earth and interact with them in whatever way you wish. So let's begin. As you see, the title right here, Interactive Middle Earth, by me, John Powell. In this first window here, we have a map selection. We can select which map of Middle Earth we can select. And right now, we are on the black and white map. I've implemented 3 maps into this program. As you see here, you click right here, and you can access many other maps, such as the parchment map, the colorized map, and then finally, the black and white map, which we have selected right now. We can try our colorized map right here. Click on that, and it loads our new map. And this is our map. We can scroll, and we can move up and down and left and right. We can zoom out and get a better view of Middle Earth here. See, there's the Shire. Additionally, you can zoom in to as far as this and get the finer details. Additionally, we have our parchment map, which shows a bit more of an older design, but it still allows you to zoom in and view the map in this way. Additionally, I have implemented latitude and longitude lines. So for example, if we move to our black and white and zoom out, we can, in this map options menu, we can either show the latitude lines, which are going to be horizontal. We can additionally show our longitude lines, which are going to be vertical. And then, if you wish, you can also show the latitude ticks and the longitude ticks. The latitude ticks are going to increment by 10 degrees as you move down the map with each line. For the purposes of this project, I divided Middle Earth into 180 degrees latitude and 180 degrees longitude. Additionally, you can see there are ticks that show how many degrees you are at, 10 degrees, 20 degrees, 30 degrees, all the way down to 180, and I've also implemented it for longitude as well, 10 degrees, 20 degrees, 30 degrees, all the way to 180. You have our cursor position. So for example, I can move my cursor anywhere on the map, and the cursor position frame here will tell you your current latitude and longitude, as well as your x and y coordinates, with x being with 0, 0 and the x and y being at the top left of the map here. And then latitude and longitude in the far top right will be 180 degrees longitude, and that makes sense. Additionally, for latitude, 180 degrees latitude, and then 0 degrees longitude at 180 degrees. Additionally, this works when zooming as well. So, for example, we can see that the Shire, right by the road there, or rather the river, is approximately 45 degrees latitude and 64 degrees longitude. We can zoom in by using the mouse wheel, and then we can move to the Shire and also find that that position is at approximately 45 degrees latitude and 64 degrees longitude. latitude and longitude lines also work when you are zoomed in as well. As you see, there are many lines and they intersect to show you the points of latitude and longitude incremented by 10 degrees. Alright, if we zoom out here, the other thing I implemented was something called map overlay. A map overlay allows you to use many different tools. Essentially, a map overlay is another thing on top of the map that gives you information, such as a label. Think about Google Maps, a restaurant, right? Little icon that you can click on to show you restaurant details and the closing times. That's an overlay. That specific icon on the map is an overlay because it sits on top of the map. It's probably better if I show you, because here we have our point. We can select our point map overlay, and then we can click this button and add our point. So we add our overlay, and then we can click in any part of the map, right click on any part in the map, and then we can mark it using a label. So if I wanted to mark the Shire, I can right click at the Shire, and I can simply name it the Shire, and I can press enter, and as you see, our label appears right next to a point where I directed the overlay to be. Additionally, you can move the map around and around, and the point will be at the same position that you intended it to be at. When you mouse over the point, it turns into a cyan color, and as you see, the label is the Shire, which we have put into our map overlay. When you add a map overlay, it gives you the option to add some text, which is our label. You can also edit this overlay, the name of the overlay, by clicking on the pencil icon, and instead of naming it the Shire, we could perhaps name it Bilbo's Home, and then press enter again, and as you see, Bilbo's Home, it updates even as you type. So for example, take a look at this label while I type here. I can be deleting some of the characters, and it stays with the current state of what you're typing. Let's put it back at the Shire here. Press enter. My program allows you to delete your overlays also. So here we go, you just press this trash icon and it will delete this overlay and remove it from view, so you no longer see Bilbo's Home. It also removed the map overlay interface at the bottom here. In addition to the point map overlay, we can do the line map overlay, and then we can say add overlay. A line is pretty self-explanatory. You can click, you can right-click anywhere, and that will begin your line. So, for example, if we had wanted to trace, for example, a journey from the journey that Dane took from the Iron Hills to the Lonely Mountain to help Thorin and company while they were being besieged by the elves, you could right-click at the bottom of the Iron Hills here, and you can continue to right-click and add your line along the route. So, you can continue to do this and trace the line. And again, this sits on top of a map. That is why it's called the map overlay. And we can continue our little journey here up until the Lonely Mountain. You can also name this this line. So, for example, let's name it Dane's Journey to the Lonely spelled lonely wrong, mountain, and press enter, it will name this Dane's Journey to Lonely Mountain, which is what we put there, and it will create this line. And that is essentially it for the line overlay. This check button here at the left allows you to show or hide your overlays. So if I click it, this will disappear. The line will, at least. And you see it disappears. I can click it again and it reappears. And then I can keep on doing this and it will always be there. In addition to the line overlay, you have an area overlay in which you can select a certain region and display that. So for example, if I wanted to highlight the region of Fangorn Forest, I would go over here and I would say add overlay, and I would right click and hold down and then drag over the area that I want. So I drag over Fangorn Forest and I can label it Fangorn Forest. I can also hide this area if I wish, and it reappears. Additionally, I can create new areas. If I wanted to lay out Mirkwood, I could say add area, and I can right click and drag over Mirkwood, and I can label this Mirkwood Forest. Mirkwood Forest. And again, you can show and hide Mirkwood Forest. And that is essentially the map Tolkien project. We can try out some of these other features on the other maps. The latitude and longitude lines still work for each map. You can get accurate coordinates wherever you are. For example, if we wanted to look at a longitude of 80 degrees and a latitude of 70 degrees, we'll take a look at their intersection just to prove that my longitude and latitude lines are correct. You see that we're at latitude 70 and longitude 80, right over here at our cursor position. See? Latitude is going to be 70 and our longitude is 80. Additionally, map overlays will also work for any other area. If I wanted to add an overlay here and just wanted to label out the Shire, I can right click and drag over the Shire and I can name it the Shire. This allows you to still move the map, and also you can remove these latitude and longitude ticks and lines if you so wish. Alright, I spent some time playing around with the map, and I filled out a few points of interest. First, I marked out the area of the Shire using my area overlay. I then marked out the path of Thorin and company and the Hobbit. Right, they traveled east and then up and then into Mirkwood, where they met those elves and had the unfortunate encounter with the spiders, and then to the Lonely Mountain, which is right here. I also marked out the area of the dragon's destruction, right here. That would be mostly upon the town of Dale. Additionally, when Bilbo and the dwarves needed help, they called upon their ally, Dane, in the Iron Hills, and they made their journey all the way to the Lonely Mountain. That took them a couple of days. Additionally, you have Fangorn Forest, and then also Isengard, as well as the Battle of Helm's Deep, all using overlays of the map. As you see on the left here, you can choose to hide all of these elements. You can also display all of them. You also can modify the Shire. You can just say Bilbo's area, and then you can modify anything else. And additionally, you can delete some elements, right? If I wanted to delete Fangorn Forest, it's removed. And the latitude and longitude still works, as well as our latitude and longitude lines and our ticks as well. This also carries into your new maps. Colorized. Areas still work. By right-clicking and dragging, you can still do some kind of area. And in your black and white, you can do the same as well. Alright, thank you, Mr. Romano, for allowing me the opportunity to share my talents and my time to make this program. I've had a lot of fun making it. I learned a lot, and I really enjoyed this kind of world that Tolkien made, and his creativity really did inspire me to make this, just considering how much work he put into it and the amount of effort and just how beautiful the human mind, the human imagination can get. So thank you, Mr. Romano.